up, guys and girls? It's Beachbody again, and will Hadi Choopan retain his title in the 2023 Mr. Olympia? Will he be able to do enough to stay on top of the game, to beat out Derek one more time, to beat out Nick, and not just win once more, maybe even 2, 3, 4 times more? Who knows? Guys, so if you're watching my channel, you're probably interested in bodybuilding, and unless you live under a rock, which we've already established some of you might do in my last video, then let's face it, you know all about the Mr. Olympia competition. The Mr. Olympia title being the most prestigious award that anybody in bodybuilding could ever dream to achieve. And it's only been won by a handful of people in history. I think it's 19 people. Well, I might be a little bit outdated on that.
17. There have been 17 Mr. Olympias, a little bit off. But Hadi Choopan is the 17th Mr. Olympia.
But the point is, that's a really small number. Really small number of people who compete. How many guys do you know who go to the gym and say they're going to compete? How many guys do you know that just train in general? And girls. There's lots of people who are into health and fitness nowadays. It's not like it used to be in the 70s, in Arnold's days, when it was a cult following. Everybody is doing it now. Everybody's involved in health and fitness in some way. And bodybuilding is growing huge. So to be the best, there's levels, guys, that you've got to go through. You can train, then you maybe start to compete. You'll compete regionally, then you'll compete nationally. Then you do a whole hoo-ha in the middle sometimes, competing abroad just for fun. Then you maybe end up doing a few pro qualifiers. Then you maybe win your pro card. But if you win your pro card, you're a pro. You're great. But compared to the other pros, you might be shit. There's levels to being a pro. On top of just training, a pro is a whole different kind of ballgame. You've then got levels in the pro competitor world. And right now, at the top of the game in the bodybuilding world, forget the Arnold for a second, the Mr. Olympia competition, we have Nick Walker in 3rd, Derek Lunsford in 2nd, and Hadi Choopan in 1st. And for good reason, these are 3 top bodybuilders. Nick, consistent, he's an absolute freak. He's called the mutant for a reason. Derek, former 212 champion, trains with arguably the best coach in the world. Did you see the difference he made between the 212 and his open debut? Seriously, I think he put on like 60 or 70 pounds in between. Quality muscle. The fact that he can hit that front double the way he does after gaining that much quality size in 1 year is unreal. And that poses the question for today's show. Will Hadi Choopan keep his 1st place in the next Mr. Olympia? Because he's always been consistent, and that's part of the reason that I agree that even though it was close between him and Derek, I would have said that Hadi deserved it more. Because he's always been consistent for years. He's huge, he's shredded, he's had his weak points that everybody has. Every single person who competes or just trains in general has weak points. He's always worked on them. He's got his own things going on in life, which make it even harder for him to train. He has hernia and he has a hearing impediment. He barely speaks English, but he's of course learning to adapt on that. But as of right now, being the top in the world, that is a serious achievement from Hadi. And the guy, like I say, the guy really deserves it. But can he hold on to it? Because talking about Hadi being consistent, Nick's consistent. Nick's never fell off his game once. I am so impressed when I look back in research for my videos, and just because I'm a sad guy in general and I like learning about bodybuilding and bodybuilders, Nick's never fell off. He's been so consistent. He was a little bit slow building up his amateur career, but then since he turned pro, and then since especially when he started training with Matt, the guy's on the gas pedal. The guy's not slowing down. The guy is doing amazing. Nick is doing incredibly. He won the Arnold Classic a few years back. He's always been in the top conversations. He's always been in the top call-outs. Nick is doing phenomenally. Derek is another name that's been massive in the last few years. From coming into winning the 212 the year after Sean didn't compete in it, oh my Lord, he's made so much progress. There's even interviews with Hani Rambod and himself, literally talking about the prep for this show, about how he was trying to keep his weight in check, and no matter what they do, he would just keep climbing and climbing and climbing in weight. They didn't get fat. Those are just how good his genetics are. How much genetic potential this guy has is unknown to this day. Derek's filling in his weak points. From what I've been reading, his weak points were his legs and possibly, arguably, his back. Now, he has a phenomenal back, don't get me wrong, but we're talking about the top 3 bodybuilders in the world. So his weak points in that case were his legs and his back. And if he can make them better, the competition between him and Hadi next year, that's going to be even closer a gap than it was last time. Can you even picture that being a smaller gap than it was last time? we were flipping back and forth between these two guys the whole show. But that's just assuming it's the same top three as it was last year. Look at the Arnold Classic we've just had last month. Who predicted Samson Dauda to win that? The guy looked phenomenal at the Olympia when he came 6th. But we didn't predict him to win the Arnold. We didn't predict him to win Nick. Nick was the poster boy and the favourite the whole way through. And yet he beat out Nick. He beat out Andrew Jacked. Even Nick Trigili, Bodybuilding BS, thought that Andrew Jacked had it in the bag. It was between him and Nick. Sean, we all know Sean may not have won, but my God, he made a performance. My God, he put up a good show against the other boys. It was an incredible lineup, and if you look at the lineup quality from the Olympia we've just had last year and the Arnold we've just had at the beginning of this year, aesthetic bodybuilding and quality bodybuilding is making its return. The next generation of bodybuilders coming in now are incredible. I haven't seen quality like this since the early 2000s, possibly even the 90s. If the top boys at the Arnold and the Olympia just gone will keep progressing the way they've been progressing, coming up to the next show in November, being the Olympia, oh my God, I don't even know what's going to happen. I seriously can't even put it into words for the video, how great that will be. Because we've got a lot of shows coming up in the middle. So I live in England, and we have like a division of the NPC, which is the Two Bros Pro events. And we don't really have anything that cool going on until the Olympia this year that I know of. But over in the States and Australia and other places, there's a lot more going on. There's the New York and Texas Pro, which Andrew's been talking about recently. So there's a lot of time for people to develop and even new names to come up. Case in point, for example, Quentin Araya at his last guest posing, standing next to Nick Walker. Did you see how much progress he's made? He dwarfed Nick. Who dwarfs Nick Walker? And they're both training with Matt. So Sean, who knows what he's going to do next? Yeah, he's going to stay in the 212, obviously. But if we're seeing crossovers like that, who knows what's going to happen? Aesthetics is making a return. Classic is huge. And with the guys that we've got in the open division, taking note of the popularity in Classic, improving the condition, improving the overall packages, the way they are, at the speed they are going, bodybuilding is making a massive return. Open bodybuilding is being redeemed. And I can't wait to see if Hadi can keep his first place trophy in 2023. Because if he doesn't keep it, there's a lot of boys who are coming for that title. And I can't wait to see the competition on the day. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Do you think Hadi Choopan's going to keep his first place in 2023? Do you think he's going to be dethroned? Who do you think is going to dethrone him? Like the video, comment down below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and enjoy the rest of your day, guys. Thank you for watching my video. I'll see you in the next one.
Next time.